All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Great high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the All Sports All Plays Network. This is the new NBA show to the network called Tip. Hey, we will be discussing NBA, obviously, but we're going to also bring some history into it. We're going to have debates. We're going to discuss what's going on with the upcoming season, and we're going to project the future of the NBA seasons just a little bit. I got my guys with me. I am in the top left corner. I got Freddie Henderson. What's going on, baby?
Yeah, what's going on, man? I'm just ready to get it kicked off and ready to bring the heat to the show.
Yes, absolutely. And we got the babyface assassin in the bottom left corner. Landon, what's going on with you, boss?
What's going on? How you living?
Hey, doing good. Happy to have you on. Definitely, he brings the knowledge as well. And we got my guy Michael with all the knowledge there. That's gonna try to school us on some things. What's going on, Mike?
Not much, man. What's going on, fellas?
Hey. What's going on? Hey, I'm excited to bring the show to the network, man. And it's NBA season, y'all. We talk about next week, the 22nd is tip-off time, and all the preseason and the wins and losses start counting. So I'm excited to get the show underway. But before we get the show underway, we got to pay the bills. What we got, Freddie? Oh, we got Suzanne Paparazzi. Suzanne Paparazzi Jewelry and Accessories, home of the $5 jewelry. 24/7 shopping available. www.paparazziaccessories.com. Code 160920. It's almost that time. Christmas is next Friday. You have a friend, a loved one, anyone. Contact Suzanne Paparazzi. You get some nice jewelry for $5 there. Now, Landon, tell the people that's watching the show right now, watching it live, how can they win their own free ASAP Network t-shirt?
Yeah, man. If you share, comment on all of our lives, you can be entered to win a free t-shirt, and that's by being viewer of the month. And if you don't want to do that for some reason, maybe you're nervous about commenting or whatever, then you can get one for $14.99. Contact anybody from the ASAP Network, and we can get you your very own t-shirt.
There it is. All right, and the t-shirts are nice quality. Definitely want to get a t-shirt. Help the network out, man. Be a walking billboard for us. Now, let's get into it, man. It's the off season was short, but we had a lot of action go on. But let's start the show with the Houston Rockets here. And James Harden. We gotta touch this topic. Brandon in the feed. What's going on, Brandon? Appreciate you, buddy. Now it's been rumors that Harden wants to be traded. He shows up to training camp a little late, and from certain pictures it looks like he's out of shape, but hey, he's still dropping buckets out there. He had 20 points the other night, getting people involved. But it seems like it's a dark cloud there. I'm gonna start with Landon on this one. Should the Rockets try and work things out with James Harden, or should they move on from him as soon as possible to get as much as they can?
I mean, we can all here agree, I'm sure, that he's one of the best scorers in the league. But Ben Simmons, this past week, there's been some big news with him, about the Sixers are officially saying that he's, available, right?
Mhm.
If I'm the Rockets and I can get Ben Simmons for James Harden and maybe some picks, I'm taking that all the way. Listen, Ben Simmons is a fantastic young point guard, arguably one of the best point guard defenders in the league. He can finish. He's got size. And I know Freddie up there, he's going to bring up that three ball. Listen, if you can drive in on anybody, no matter – I mean, he's got size, like I said. I think he is the most valuable player you can get from a trade, for James Harden. And, like I said, if they can get him, then 100% go with it.
So you would give up Ben Simmons in that package deal, huh?
No, I wouldn't. I would keep him.
Oh, you would keep Ben Simmons, so you would try to do
Yes.
anything besides Ben Simmons.
Right. If I was the Sixers, I would keep him.
Gotcha. Freddie shaking his head, so I'm gonna let him go ahead and go. Freddie, what you think? What should they do with James Harden, Freddie?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to put some respect on James Harden's name. This dude has scored 33 plus the last 2 or 3 seasons. This dude has been flat out special. This dude is straight balling. I'm sorry, I like Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons is not giving you what James Harden is giving you every night. I'm sorry. He's not giving you a 50-point triple-double. He's not doing that, Landon. I'm sorry. So it's time to be respectful, okay? But let me answer. I'm going to answer the question, and I'm going to get on to James Harden for a little bit. James Harden, we understand that you want to win a championship. We understand you want a ring. But let's just be honest. There's rumors out there that said that you had too much power with this organization. It's saying that you can show up to the meetings late. You can show up to the playing late, the practice late, film section late. That's why you and Russell Westbrook didn't get along. Because they said Russell Westbrook was in the film room telling Mike D'Antoni, "Yo, let's go, let's get it rolling, let's start now. We're not waiting." This showed on back-to-back games when his game's off, you can fly out to Vegas and go party. There's times when you have to be an athlete, and you know what? He has so much power where he can get rid of his coaching staff. He can get rid of players. I mean, James Harden, let's be real. You put Houston in a bad position. They got CP3 for you. Y'all was close to a championship then. If CP3 did not get hurt, then you got him out of there. Then you bring in Westbrook. Then you get rid of Clint Capella. You say, you know what, to the big game, it's over. And Michael, he's an historian of the game. This man knows you have to have a big man to win the game. That small game do not work. And you had 2 of the greatest scorers in the game, and Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan say, hey, you cannot win championships with you dominating the ball the way you do. So let's not act like the Houston Rockets did not do everything that you wanted them to do. But now that the doing is over, where they don't have too much to do, now, you want to get up and leave? Oh, stop it. But whoever I'm trading to James Harden, I'm trading to a team. I don't care what he wants. It's time to do what Houston wants. It's time for Houston to get the best player out of this trade. Me and Chris Brown go back and forth this all day long. I'm not trading him for a bunch of role players. I'm not trading him for a bunch of chips. You have to give me Ben Simmons. You have to give me some first-round draft picks. You have to give me a young player. This is James Harden, man.
Freddie was intense about that. He was real intense about that. Mike, I'm gonna let you go. What you think the Rockets should do with James Harden?
You know something? I'll tell you what, man. Listen to Freddie, man. He has a lot of good points. But one thing that he didn't bring up is the fact that Houston got a new coach. And the way that Harden has performed in the most recent years, like you said, he gets his way damn near all the time. And that's going to be a problem. And the fact that I'm more concerned about the teammates on the Houston Rockets, because now he's coming in probably expecting to get the same treatment he got before. Now you got a new coach coming in, a lot of pressure on this new coach. He's going to try to do what's best for the team. And as Freddie said, You can't do it by yourself. You're going to need help. So to answer your question, they should try to work something out, but ultimately, he's got 2 years remaining on his contract. They run the show. They got to realize they have to realize that they run the show, not James Harden. And if they're gonna keep James Harden, there's got to be some rules laid out. And I already think it's a bad fit because his teammates, they ain't going for it. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, they should try to work him out, but at the end of the day, they got to get rid of him. Get rid of him now to get as much as they can right now.
He's too hard-headed. He's not going to be able to be coached.
That's my. And then you get a new coach coming in. You get a new coach. You know what I mean? Who hasn't had no head coach experience.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true. On our show, on the show Real Talk, early on, I said the Rockets should have been, bust this team up. I'm all for it because once you get to a point where you're stuck around the 6th seed in the West, can't get out the first or the second round, probably the second round this year, you become that middle team. And when you become that and you're not winning the title, you need to bust it up and get as many pieces as you can. Now, getting John Wall for Russell Westbrook, that's kind of we'll see how that works out. John Wall looks okay. Looks like he still has his explosiveness. With James Harden, like Freddie said, they've catered to this man. Every coach that's came in there, they consulted with them. Every trade, they consulted with them. Harden wanted to go small ball. They let him go small ball. At some point, it's like, okay, I'm happy that Houston didn't rush up and just trading. You know what I mean? See what offers you get. See what the most that you can get for a James Harden because you've catered to him enough. Now it's time to look out for yourself and look out for the future of this organization. And if for me personally, if I am the Houston Rockets, I'm looking to unload James Harden sooner than later. I'm getting on the phone with the Brooklyn Nets. I feel like they have the most pieces to get in return. You're not gonna fully replace James. He's a 34-point scorer. He's an all-star. You're not gonna replace that. But if you could get on the phone and say, Karis LeVert, Dinwiddie, maybe a DeAndre Jordan to make the cap work, a couple because he falls off the books, and then you got that free money spaced up, and a couple picks. You got to take that and run with it. You got to take it and run with it because as long as the season go on, the worse the offers are going to get. So you have to get something for James Harden, and Houston needs to get, Houston. And to be honest, Freddie, you said that they was on a close to a championship with CP3 if he didn't get hurt. I'll go even further and say they should have won anyway. They were up 15 points going into the third quarter, and they started bricking threes, and they missed about what? Some crazy 27 straight 3-pointers. Harden probably missed about 8 or 9 of them. So this is going to be interesting. I say you get rid of him. I say you call Brooklyn because that's the most that you can get for him in return. 76ers, they're not getting rid of Ben Simmons. They're not getting rid of Joel Embiid. That is what it is. But if you tell me I can get a DeAndre Jordan that's going to be $20 million off the book the following season, give me a Spencer Dinwiddie, give me a Karis LeVert, and give me future picks, you have to take that, Freddie. You're not going to get full value in return for him. You don't.
I agree.
You don't. You never do. Even all those pieces that they traded for Anthony Davis, it's still not equal.
Coach Cam, if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I'm not trading my bench, my role players away for this dude. I'm not. Why would you trade them? Why would you trade LeVert, Dinwiddie, even away for James Harden?
Why would you trade Ben Simmons?
Why would they trade Ben Simmons? Because for one reason, you have in this game, it is a win now game. This is a win now. They should be in win now mode right now. You have Daryl Morey. You have Doc Rivers as your coach. You brought in Danny Green. You have Seth Curry. You drafted well. You have Dwight Howard backing up Joel Embiid. Why would you not want to win right now? You mean to tell me Ben Simmons can learn how to shoot a mid-range? I haven't seen it yet. In this game, you have to be able to space the floor. And if he cannot knock down that 3-point shot, he's not going to make it. Could you imagine James Harden and Joel Embiid? That would be nasty. Joel Embiid and James Harden. The pick and roll would be nasty. The pick and pop would be nasty. You're talking about a dude who's an MVP. You act like this dude is DeMar DeRozan or something. No, this dude is a superstar in the game. He's probably the best shooting guard in the game. So it's not going to be. He's not going to be given up for a chopped liver. So let's stop that notion, man.
I understand that, but you just said Sixers in win now mode, right?
They should be, yes.
Aren't the Nets?
Right.
Yes, but why would you if you?
It's a star-driven league, Freddie.
But Coach Cam. You trade James Harden. You trade all them players. Hold on. You trade all them players. You're getting rid of your bench. You're getting rid of your defense. Because guess what? KD, Kyrie, yes, they can play defense, but they're not. They need defense. Do not give up your depth for one dude. They can still. Their team is okay. You looking at Philly. You say we need to make that next move to get us there with Brooklyn. They make that move. They're right there with Brooklyn.
Now I understand what you're saying, Freddie. But did you say this the same thing last year when they gave all those pieces up for AD? Did you say the same thing?
Yes, I loved our young guys on the Lakers.
Okay. Now with those young guys, they traded all those young guys and those picks and got AD and won a title. You think with those young guys, do you really think they would have won a title?
Without Anthony Davis, no.
That's my point I'm trying to make.
Right. That's
but I'm just saying
it's a star-driven league. They traded all those pieces that you were talking about, all the bench, all that for one person, and that one person helped elevate them to a title.
Chris, Coach Cam, the Brooklyn is a different position from the Lakers. We were not in win mode now. Then this team already right now is in win mode. They have Kyrie, KD. They just need people to fill them out, and that's what they have right now. Why get your team for a dude that you don't even know they can coexist?
Hey, that's the chance you take.
Could you imagine if James Harden worked with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving?
Yes, but guess what? Somebody had to come off the bench and play.
That'd be deadly.
Who could come off the bench?
You can feel.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
It don't matter. What are you talking about? Like, what?
Listen. You're telling me James Harden puts up 34 a night, right? Imagine Kyrie Irving. He puts up good. And imagine Kevin Durant can come back 100% from his Achilles injury. They can make up for that bench. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna have.
No, Mike, what you got to say about this?
Yeah, like I said, Houston's in a tough position. If they keep him, he's going to be a problem. They want to get rid of him. Wherever he's going to be a problem. So it depends. You got to fit in where you get in. I think, again, I'm emphasizing the coach. New coach, new culture. You know what I mean? You get a new coach in to deal with the headaches that James Harden brings. He brings a lot of 34 points a game, but look what he brings with him.
He's
got
not
a new coach trying to establish himself. You want to have a culture that's going to benefit the Rockets. I think with him staying there, it's just going to create adversity, and I don't think it's going to be beneficial to the Rockets at all.
And that's what we're going to bring up because you got to realize can Harden really play with everybody? And that's what we get to. Because, Westbrook was his guy. That didn't work. That lasted one season. And they was friends. Chris Paul, the ultimate share, didn't work with him. You didn't work with Dwight Howard. So it's like all these people you bring in, you haven't been able to work with them. At some point, you have to look at yourself, and we could talk about this all day. But we gonna move forward. We gonna talk about another team with some issues that I feel that have internal issues. The Clippers. Clippers got everything going on now. It comes out that possibly Jay West don't work with someone with Kawhi getting there. Money involved, which is crazy. But then you're talking about guys like Lou Williams upset with the low managing. Clippers, that culture that was built previous to Paul George and Kawhi getting there was built on hard work, was built on gritty, being tough. And all of a sudden, you got guys coming in saying we're not practicing today, and this, that, and the third, and low managing. Can Tyronn Lue fix the Clippers? I'm gonna start with you, Landon. Do you think Tyronn Lue can galvanize this group and get them to where we all thought they would be, which is at least the Western Conference Finals?
Listen, they're stacked. I think we can all agree there. I mean, sure, Paul George may have not played great in the playoffs, but they are stacked. Like, if he cannot get this team to the Western Conference Finals, then there's got to be something wrong somewhere else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A coaching change has got to move that team to the Western Conference Finals. It killed me when they lost last year just because they're so stacked. They should be able to make it there easy. You know what I mean? They're just so complete. And it let me down because I had them representing the Western Conference in the finals at the beginning of the year last year.
Yeah, I did too, man.
And it let me down for sure. So, I don't know. If that doesn't work, then there's got to be a change somewhere else, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I agree there. I'm gonna go, Michael. Go ahead, Michael. What do you think? About the Clippers? Can they be fixed?
Okay, well, to answer that question, the difference between Houston and the Clippers, the Houston have a new coach. The Clippers have a new coach, but a coach who has a vast amount of experience. He has respect of the league. He has respect of the players. Now, if he can come in and correct those issues that, Kawhi, 2-hour commute, practice time, same scenario as with Harden, but you get someone there who has that respect. I think if you can bring, again, the culture that's necessary, I think the Clippers obviously are very disappointed in the year they had last year. So they're going to come on strong. They're going to try to prove everybody wrong. Can it be fixed? It could definitely be fixed if you have that much talent. With all that talent, it can be fixed. But it has to start at the top.
I definitely agree there. Freddie, what you think, boss? Can the Clippers be fixed? I know you about to say something crazy. So go ahead. Can the Clippers be fixed, Freddie?
Coach Cam, say your favorite line, please.
What can go wrong will go wrong.
That's who they are. I mean, why don't we expect more out this team? That's who they are. I mean, like Landon, he's talking about they was deep. They was stacked. I was going for them to represent the West. I wasn't, and I'm not this year.
It's biased, though. That's biased. Come on now.
No, it's not biased. It is not biased. You know why it's not biased?
You're a Lakers fan.
No. If you look at the Lakers roster, the championship team does not do what they did. No championship team did what the Lakers did this offseason. They could do a complete, obviously different roster. I mean, that just does not happen. I mean, let's stop it. I mean, the Clippers did not, to me, they did not get better this offseason. They needed a point guard. As soon as they knew the Lakers was not playing Rajon Rondo, they should have been knocking on the man's door. They should have been sending him emails. They should have been tweeting him. They should have done everything. Jerry West probably should have hired somebody to go after him too. I'm just saying. They needed a point guard. They needed a true big man. I like Serge Ibaka. But what is Serge Ibaka going to do Tuesday when Marc Gasol big behind get on him? Is he going to be able to slow him down? What is he going to do when AD get on him? Let's stop it, y'all. They needed a big man. They needed a point guard. And I know what Serge Ibaka can bring to the game. I know he's a great defender, but I just don't think he'll be able to guard a big body and a Marc Gasol or Anthony Davis. So Coach Cam, the only way the Clippers problem can be fixed is they get the heck up out of Staples Center because, I'm tired of them covering up our banners, by the way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only thing they're good for in that arena is to pay the light bill and to keep the water on. That's the only thing they're good for. They're not going to the Western Conference Finals, by the way, this year again, either landed. Let's just be honest. I'm not gonna surprise you.
Yeah, we got that coming.
Well,
We got that coming.
I think the Lakers will win it all this year. That's my prediction, right? I don't think, but the Clippers should at least make it to the Western Conference Finals. I mean, right?
I mean, it's not guaranteed in the West, first off. And, with Ty Lue, I do think he gives them some stability. This is a guy that has coached LeBron James and has stood up to LeBron James. LeBron James, he's kind of a control guy, rightfully so. His IQ is off the charts, and sometimes he kind of takes over the coach's role a little bit. But hey, even in Cleveland, Tyrell was like, "Hold up, bro, I got this. I'm the coach. I got this." So Ty Lue does have that personality where he could get control of you and say, "Hey, I'm running the show here. I'm the coach. And that's important." But overall, as far as the Clippers roster and the Clippers team, I just don't know, man. I don't see leadership. In the Clippers and the reason why I don't see leadership in the Clippers is you have Kawhi, who's your star. He's basically like a mute. He don't talk to nobody. He don't communicate with nobody. That's hard when your best player don't talk. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, maybe he's different behind closed doors, but I kind of want my leader to be engaged with everyone. I want him to, kind of be vocal. And Kawhi is not that guy. And then your second fiddle, Paul George, mentally, you don't know what you're going to get with him. I like to, I don't like to use I'm not going to use this word, but, he has mental deficiencies. Like, he just comes up short in big moments where it just seems like it's too much for him. And that, and when your two stars have issues like that, when one don't communicate, one you don't know what you're going to get on the brightest stage, that's hard for the role players to follow. And that's where the key is for me. I really need to see a good year from Paul George. I mean, and I'm talking about in the playoffs too. He has all the skills in the world. I mean, you talk about smooth game, handles, can take it home, can shoot the three, can defend. It's no reason why he's not making his imprint on games in the playoffs. And it's starting to become a habit now, because you do something once, you do something 3 times, it becomes a habit, it becomes in your head. So for me, I'm a little bit concerned about the Clippers. I'm concerned because you still got Lou Williams coming out saying little stuff here and there. They're not satisfied. The Clippers. Some of these players that's on their roster that was that built that team up before they got there, they're just not. They're not happy. That's why you seen Montrezl Harrell go to the rival for way less money.
Hold on, stop. We ain't no rival, okay? Let's correct that. The Clippers and the Lakers not a rival. They never have been and never will be, okay? A rival with the Lakers.
Freddie. Right now, it's a rivalry, okay?
That's not a rivalry.
Whether you like it or not, right now it's a rivalry. The season series was 2-1.
That don't make it a rival. A rival is the Lakers and
Boston. You're in the same arena, and y'all, and you have two teams that's at the top of the West. How is that not a rivalry?
You know why it's not a rival? You know why it's not a rival? Because the Lakers been so dominant forever. When the Lakers were sorry, the Clippers had their opportunity. When they had CP3 and Blake Griffin and the boys, they had their opportunity to take over. But guess what? They could not do it. So that's not a rivalry at all. Not at all.
So do you think they tipped off the preseason with that game just because you don't think it upped the views or anything like that?
It brings ratings. I mean, just listen. Right now, they have no fans in the stands, and they need to bring in ratings. And what way to bring ratings and to bring up the most talked about, most hyped up, most anticipated matchup?
Because
that's all it is. So do you think Golden
State? You just listed off what a rivalry is.
Do you think Do you think Golden State and Cleveland was a rival? I mean, it wasn't there yet.
Well, they were
It
going
was,
back and
though.
forth. That was a rival.
Freddie, it was. They
Let's
made
get the
it.
historian
They
in
met
here.
each other 4 straight years.
Let's get
How
the
was it
historian
not?
in here. I want to hear from Michael. Michael, do you think that's a rival?
Not right now. I definitely don't think it's a rivalry. I go back to the old school. You know what I mean? Celtics, Lakers, Pistons, Celtics. You know what I mean? That's what I consider a rivalry. 1, 2, 3 years, that doesn't build a rivalry. You got a rivalry means basically both teams really hate each other. You know what I mean? You go back to the old days. I mean, they had a mutual hate. I don't see that right now. So in my eyes, what I would consider a rivalry is teams that have been going at it year after year, and they've been going at it, and there's so much anger and hate for each other. You know what I mean? That's what I consider a rivalry. You know, a couple of years here and there, they played. To me, if you're going to compare them to, you know, the Bulls and the Pistons and the Celtics and the Lakers, Celtics and the Pistons, does not compare in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly. I'm glad you're on the show.
Now, you know, Freddie got someone to agree with him. So, oh Lord, here we go.
Yeah.
But moving on from that topic here, one of the best scorers we ever seen is now back. You know, from Achilles injury. You know, he played in the preseason of the night, looked pretty good. Looked like he still got, you know, that jumper workings, can get to the basket. And I'm gonna start with Michael on this one. What are your expectations for Kevin Durant this season? Do you think he returns to one of those the top 2, top 3 NBA players? Maybe just an all-star level player? Or will he be a show?
I think he's going to be KD. I think he still has. I'm watching him right now. He has the skills. He looks healthy, and he's unstoppable. And he's one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen in our lifetime. And I think he's going to come back. And then now he's got his boy playing with him at the point. He's not going to have to work as hard as he has when he was with Golden State per se. He don't need a lot of passes thrown his way because he's very consistent. He's very effective in the way he plays. I would see that KD's probably going to get between 27, 29 points a game. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be same old KD.
All right, Freddie, what you think about KD?
Man, you know, I agree. I mean, you know, KD is not like Russell Westbrook. If Westbrook would have tore his Achilles, he's done. But KD can shoot over you. I mean, he don't have to be athletic. I mean, this dude can. I mean, he can shoot. He can shoot from the ball. I mean, he can shoot from midcourt. He can shoot from the locker room. He can shoot mid range. He can post you up. He can do it all. I mean, I expect KD to beat Kevin Durant. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's gonna be top 2 this year because I mean there's a lot of players that's out there, but he'll be top 5. I definitely think, you know, he'll be, you know, pick up where he left off at and just keep on balling.
Landon.
For one of the first times ever, I think I agree with Freddie on something. You know, I think the Achilles, it's a big injury. But I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to be good. You know, he can, like he said, he can shoot over anybody. He's got size over anybody. He can, you know, and he doesn't need to be athletic. And that's kind of what like he said, that's what the Achilles does. It kind of lowers your, explosiveness, you know, stuff like that. And I feel like he doesn't need that to be just as dominant as he was when he played for, you know, the Thunder and the Warriors. I think he'll be back just like he was before.
Yeah, and you know, I agree with you. I think when people, when we injured his Achilles, people was like, "Oh, I don't know, he's gonna come back." Look at DeMarcus Cousins. Look at this. I said, "Well, DeMarcus Cousins is 280 pounds. You know, KD is a slender guy. You know, and that definitely helps when you're coming back from Achilles injury. And plus, you know, he can shoot the ball. You know, and you're 6'11", you can shoot over anybody pretty much. That makes it easy. And the fact that, you know, he's so deadly in the mid-range, 1-2 dribble pull-up, you really don't have to have that extreme explosiveness that he had once before. And, you know, and being a mid-range, that's why it's important. I hate, you know, analytics done took the mid-range out the equation because If you look at it, and I said this before, you look at your last 5 NBA champions, they had someone that could drill that mid range. You look at the Warriors of KD, you look at the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard, you look at, LeBron's teams, he works in the mid range area, AD works in the mid range. You got to be able to work that mid range area still. I don't care what analytics tell you. You have to be able to work that area. It can't be just 3 or key, like a lot of these teams are. And a lot of people think Warriors was just 3-point team. No. Clay was a mid-range shooter. Durant was a mid-range shooter. Even Steph will get in there mid-range. So KD will be fine. KD will be fine. I think he'll average about 25 points a night because, Kyrie going to take his shots too. Kyrie going to gun him up there too. And you got LeVert that's an active scorer. You got Dinwiddie that's an active scorer. You got Joe Harris that's going to get his spot up threes. So I see KD getting to 20, a very, very efficient 25 points a night. We're gonna still look at him as one of the top players in the NBA. I don't think he's going anywhere at all. Now, this is a subject I always like to throw out there. Who would you rather build around? Now, these 3 players, I'm gonna give you 3 players, and I'm gonna start with Freddie on this. I'm gonna give you 3 players. Who would you rather build around right now? You got a team. You got to pick one of these 3 stars: Anthony Davis, the Greek Freak, or Kawhi Leonard. You got 3 players. Who would you rather build your team around right now? I'm talking about right now. Now look at overall. Right now, how everybody looking? Who would you rather build your team around?
This is easy. I'm going with the best player out of those 3, Anthony Davis. Wow. You talk about Giannis, okay? Giannis is good. We all know what he is. He's a slim body, more mobile Shaq. That's all he is. He can attack you in the paint, be dominant. That's what he is. Anthony Davis is a big man. It's nearly 7 feet, like 6'11", 6'12", whatever. The dude can block shots. The dude can rebound. The dude can get you on the inside. He can get you on the post game. He can spread it out to the 17 feet. He can go 19 feet. This dude can do it all. And this dude can pass. And he has handles. I'm going Anthony Davis. You're talking about a dude. I mean, we all know how great LeBron is. We're talking about a dude going on a LeBron James team last year and lead them in scoring. We've never seen that happen before. Never. Okay? Never. This dude averaged about 27 points. He gave you 9 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 assists, 1 steal, and two blocks a game. This dude was balling. I mean, you put Giannis, like we said on Real Talk the other day, you put Giannis with Anthony Davis, with LeBron James, not going to work. So you can put multiple different kind of pieces around with Anthony Davis because guess what? He don't need the ball in his hand. You can work around him. And the reason why I don't say Kawhi is because Kawhi's not that leader. I've seen AD be vocal. I've seen him, go out there and say stuff to his players. But Kawhi's not vocal. That's why we all know what Kawhi do on the defensive end. We know what he can do on the offensive end. But guess what? It's more than just your play. It's about you being a leader. And what AD teaming up with LeBron last year, it taught him how to be even a better leader. Because even with Rondo, give credit to Rajon Rondo too. Rondo probably taught him some things how to be a leader as well. So I'm going Anthony Davis.
Man, I'm gonna go with you, Landon. Who would you rather build around, Giannis, AD, Kawhi?
AD, and it's easy. Giannis, he's good. I think he back-to-back MVP, but he cannot perform in the playoffs, and I think that's a problem. And then the only reason I'm not going Kawhi is, as Freddie said, he's not the leader that people need. I think AD is the best player on the court, but I think Kawhi is running a close second. You know what I mean? So I think AD is and he's only 27 years old, and I think he is easily the guy that you would want to build around. He's got good leadership. He's good on the court, off the court. You know what I mean? So I think AD is the guy I'd have to go with.
Mike, who you building around? AD, Giannis, Kawhi.
I'm going Giannis. 100%. I'm going with Giannis. Can you picture Giannis with great perimeter shooters, all around ball players? I would definitely go with Giannis. AD, He's already had LeBron. You know what I mean? Giannis has never had a ball player of LeBron's stature. I would put a very well-rounded team against Giannis, and the fact that he's only 26 years old, I'm looking for the future. I'm definitely going with Giannis. No
But
doubt.
even
Mike,
though
Mike.
Giannis,
Go ahead.
but Mike,
Lisa?
even though Giannis can't spread the floor out, I mean, like AD can. AD can do it all. He has better handles. He can pass the ball better. He's probably I think he's a better defender. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year last year.
100%. Yeah.
That's why, Freddie, that's why you need to build around Giannis. All the things you're saying proves my point. Everything you're saying is correct. Giannis can't do the things AD does. That's why you have to build around him. And that's what the question says. Who would you rather build? Definitely Giannis.
That's a good point. Okay.
And Mike, you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. Who would you rather build around? Not necessarily the better player. We've seen AD in a solo act in New Orleans. Body breaks down. Can't make the playoffs. Maybe you got one playoff series win your whole time in New Orleans. We've seen AD lead a team, and we ain't seen him lead him far. He got injured every time. I can't pick AD far as being the star and building around him. That's a no-no. We've seen this. We've seen that story. He can't last the whole season. Give me Giannis. I'm building around Giannis. I'm building around the Greek Freak. You give, like I said, you give Giannis some shooters. Remember, Giannis, people think Giannis is a wing, no doubt about it. But he's more like a modern Shaq who needs a Kobe. Chris Middleton ain't that. You know, they got some help adding Drew Holiday. Hopefully that helps. But if you imagine giving Giannis a James Harden, per se. Imagine getting Giannis a score like that. You will see Giannis win titles because he needs that second true star. He don't have that. We all know Chris Middleton comes up short in the playoffs. We've seen, highlights where Giannis coming down the court. He had 4 guys in front of him. He kicks it to a shooter, they brick. Well, I mean, what is Giannis supposed to do? The Raptors did the same thing. Built a wall around him, kicking it to Middleton, kicking it to guys. Brick. What is he supposed to do? So I'm building around Giannis. Huh? Excuse me?
He needs to learn how to shoot. That's what he needs to do.
Don't get me wrong. He's gotten better shooting the ball. It's not great, but if you leave him open Saturday, he's not going to be like Ben Simmons. If you leave him open, he's just not going to shoot it. He's going to pull up and shoot. I'm not saying he's a 40% three-point shooter, but last year, he was about 32, 33%. That's not horrible. I mean, it's not great, but it's not horrible. I mean, you got to at least come out there and put a hand up. So he's getting better in those aspects. They have to get shooters and they have to build around him. I'm happy he stays, so I'm hoping he can get one there because that'll take his legacy to the top. But if you talk about building around somebody, it's definitely not Kawhi. I can't have a mute on my team. But I have to, Giannis, he's young. He's a back-to-back MVP. And he showed that he can basically lead a team at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if you get more pieces around them, they will be in the finals one day in the East. It's an easy choice for me to pick Giannis Antetokounmpo to build around. Landon, I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah. So, Giannis, you got to get shooters, right? With AD, he can shoot. He can drive. He can do it all. So, okay, right. I see where you're coming from with you got to build around him, but with AD, you don't have to do as much, right? Because he's more complete as a player. He can do it all. With Giannis, he just rim runs. That's all he can do. I would leave him open from the perimeter. You know what I mean? If it comes down to it, with AD, I would put a hand in his face. I'm not confident in Giannis behind the arc, and so you got to get more guys around him that can make those shots. With AD, however, you can you can go in the market for anybody, and they don't have to be as good as what you're going to have to give Giannis. So, for example, you said James Harden, right?
Mhm.
James Harden to a Giannis, which is one of the best scorers in the league, if not the best. And that's more than you would have to give AD to do good.
But you say that though. You say that though, Landon. But we seen the act in New Orleans. He didn't
Right.
do. I mean, he went to a couple playoffs. He won a playoff series against the Blazers. That was a good series. Outside of that, he can't finish a season when he's a star. He's been hurt almost every year up into the, and even in the bubble, every time he fell, you thought you was holding your breath. You didn't know if he was gonna be injured or get up or what. I mean, with the reason why I'm saying Giannis is because AD joined the best player in the world. Okay, and right now ESPN rated them 1 and 2. So if the two best players are on the same team, something good should happen. I would think.
Right.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? That's what I'm saying. Give Giannis a top 5 NBA player, and let's see how he will work. Let's see what he'll do with a top.
So listen,
5.
I think that if AD didn't get LeBron, he got somebody. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want anybody to like jump on me, but like somebody decent, for example. Okay, I'm just like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Somebody mediocre. Nobody like not by any means. He's not top tier, right? I think he would be successful because he's got somebody who can do something other than him. Sure, he did get LeBron and they won the finals, right? He is the best player in the world. But if he would not have got LeBron, I still believe he would have, made the playoffs and done something with it.
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, let's just face it. AD doing like Coach Campbell, like a long season. AD
Right.
tends to be the main vocal point, main guy, taking all the banging, taking all the hits. He tends to get a little hurt, hurt at times. But our time is running low. We only had like 14 more minutes.
I know.
I wanted to give a little update though, man. Kevin Durant, as of right now, have like 14 points the last time I checked. This dude's straight ball in the bottle.
Yeah, he ready. He back.
He's got 18 now.
See, I'm glad he came all the way. I'm glad he waited, the whole season, didn't rush back in the bubble or none of that. I'm glad he took his time this time, and came back. That was very important for me. So I think he'll be ready to go. All right, let's move on. Early conference final predictions. I'm gonna start off with Michael on this. Give me your conference final predictions for the East and the West.
I'm gonna go with in the East. I'm gonna go the Nets versus Miami. With Philly looking in the window. In the West, I'm going with the Lakers against Denver, with the Mavs looking in the window.
I like that Mavs talk, Michael. I like that Mavs talk. There we go, Landon. What you got, brother?
The same exact thing. I have it written down. The same exact thing. I think the Mavs are going to be looking in. I think they're going to be good. They got Luka, and I think he's going to be, I think he's going to be my MVP, like I've said before. But yeah, I mean, I got the exact same thing.
All right, Freddie.
We're going to name you Max Kellerman. You dancing all over the place. Earlier you was talking about, I want to see how the Clippers can't beat the Western Conference Finals. I didn't see it, but now you're going against them. Like, what you going to?
Well, no, I was talking about last year. I'm talking about last year. I mean, this year, I don't think they will, though. I think they should be able to. I don't think they will.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to go with the West because the West is going to surprise y'all. Well, that might not be a surprise. In the East, I have the Nets, and I have Milwaukee, man. With them getting Drew Holiday, and they still Chris Middleton. They still have a tight squad. In the West, y'all already know what purple and gold. Lakers number 1, and number 2, I'm going with the Dallas Mavericks. Wow, I cannot go with Denver for one reason. They let Jeremy Grant go. They let him go. Jeremy Grant is gone. Without Jeremy, I know you have Michael Porter Jr., but man, what I seen Luka and Kristaps Porzingis do in the playoffs, man, they was bodying the Clippers. They was giving them the work. So I think Kristaps can go on the Joker would do it like 8 because the Joker don't want none of AD. When you put Kristaps on the Joker, hey, you shut the Joker down. Hey, you got you something now. Then I think Luka's not afraid of nobody. Hey, you challenge him, he's gonna come at you. He's not afraid of nobody. So those are my matchups, man.
All right. So, coming, I was thinking about the East because the East is really close for me. The East is really close. I have the Nets. I have the Nets and the Celtics. A lot of people just forget about the Celtics. I think the addition of Tristan Thompson was huge for them. You get somebody that could rebound, and hold the fort down in the middle. And I still like that Tatum, Brown, those guys. I think they'll be there. In the West, I have the Lakers and I have the Mavericks. I have my Mavericks. I went straight bias on this one. I like what we done. I know we got rid of Seth Curry, was a great shooter, but we was the number one offense in the league by far. It wasn't even close. And you add a defensive, stopper and a 3-point shooter in Josh Richardson, and I really think that will help perimeter defense as well. There, you get someone back like a Dwight Powell. I know a lot of people don't think he's a big, but he's huge for the Dallas Mavericks to be able to have another big man next to Chris Stapps. And like I said, we was a Chris Stapps injury away, from beating the Clippers, to be my opinion. And I feel like the ejection game one was terrible. We was in charge of that game before that happened. And Luka really showed that he wasn't afraid of the big moment. Dropping 30, 40-point triple double. So I think the Mavericks will definitely be formidable. Will definitely be the team in the Western Conference Final this year versus the Lakers. All right.
Hey, Coach Cam, since the time is going down, man, let's go and let Michael do his part. Since we got like 8 way more minutes, whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna definitely let him take his story. But you think we got room for one more quick one? One more quick one.
We can do one more. We can
make it one more quick one, then we could get into his segment. I want to know, because we got a historian on the show as well. I'm just gonna ask. We gotta make it quick. Best team of all time, NBA. Best team of all time, and I'm gonna start off with Landon. Best team of all time.
For me, it comes down to the Showtime Lakers and the 96 Bulls. Like, somewhere, the Bulls with MJ, Pippen,
He was right.
Yeah, all them. I'm going to take them. I'm going to take, Pippen and Jordan, obviously, and I think they got the best team.
Freddie.
Since Landon went there, by the way, Mr. Brian, Landon, who's that your dad?
That's my dad, yeah.
We're glad to have your son on the network. Since you went that route, I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna go with the Lakers team. I'm gonna go with the 01-02 Lakers with Kobe and Shaq. Like Shaq said, you talking about the best big man, little dude combo. I mean, nobody's beating that. I mean, Shaq and Kobe. Just think about this, man. If they was motivated, like LeBron and AD didn't have no egos, take all that away, Shaq working out and all that way, you're talking about a team that probably would have done the same things those Bulls team win. Probably would have did 2 or 3 peats, would have been dominant. But they had so much egos, it got in their way. So I'm going with those Lakers team, Kobe and Shaq Lakers team.
Mike,
but I was going Showtime until Landon took them. So
gotcha.
Now, my old school team would have to be the Boston Celtics. Bill Russell, John Havlicek, Casey Jones, Sam Jones, Tom Heinsohn, all 5 starters, Hall of Famers. Now we're going to the new age. You got to go with the Lakers, man. They had Jabbar, Magic, Worthy, Nixon, Jamal Wilkes, McAdoo, James Worthy, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper. They checked all the boxes. They had everything covered. It's a wrap.
Hey, that's hard to beat. Woo! Because you said all those names. You went about 9, 10 deep of players, that could come in, give you away. You didn't even say Kurt Rambis, like, you like, that's what I'm saying. You had a lot of man. That's tough to beat in that era. For me, the best team of all time. Now, if you want to go, I, I I can't argue with the Celtics either. With those 5 Hall of Famers starting 5, but for me, far the best team I've seen it's the Chicago Bulls at 96 team. Um, After Jordan, came back and he had to, go through, getting back in shape and got swept by the Magic. Not swept, but they lost 4-2. And the next year to come back and just be like on a revenge tour, win 72 games, and they were just dominant defensively as well. Because a lot of people don't realize, like like on those teams, Ron Harper really solidified that perimeter defense. You talk about Harper, you talking about Jordan, you talk about Pippen. That's tough defensively when you talk about the 1, 2, 3 position. Then you add Rodman at the power forward position, giving you 14, 15 rebounds a night. That's the best team I've ever seen. But I can't argue with what Mike said. He named off 10 deep, 10 deep of guys on that Showtime Lakers team. I wish I would have gotten to see them more. Like, I've watched their games and stuff like that. They were definitely good. I wish I got to actually see them. But for me, it's the 96 Bulls. But I'm not arguing with any one of you guys. All those teams were definitely dominant. All right, we come to the show where at the end we like to, Michael has so many good stories. So many good stories. He's been blessed and privileged to be around, a lot of, a lot of basketball and, around a lot of legends. So we gonna get the floor to you, Michael. What can you give us? Man? Tell us a story. Let us information that we may have not known.
Okay, well, Bill Russell, how he ended up with the Boston Celtics. I'll try to go slow. I know we only got a few minutes, so I'll try to break it down as quick as I can. Let me preface this by saying I was invited to the Boston Celtics summer camp, and I got to meet Red Auerbach. He was there for the whole week, and I picked his brain, and so that's why I'm prefacing what I'm about to say. 1956, Bill Russell had just graduated from the University of San Francisco with back-to-back championships. Now, Red Auerbach wanted Bill Russell, but the previous year, the Celtics had made the playoffs, so their picking order was very low the following season, but he wanted Bill Russell. So in his mind, he said, I got to get this guy, Bill Russell. So check this out. What happened was the St. Louis Hawks had the second pick. So Red Auerbach went to the owner of the Celtics and said, look, is there any way we can make a deal with them so we could get the second pick? So this is how it went down. The Boston Celtics gave up Easy and McCauley and draft rights to Cliff Hagan for the second pick to the St. Louis Hawks. The St. Louis Hawks, in turn, had the second pick. So once the Celtics got the second pick, Russell was going to be the first pick by the Rochester Royals. But what ended up happening, again, Mr. Red Auerbach himself said, look, I got to make a deal. So what he did was he went to the owner of the Boston Celtics and said, look, how about if we guarantee the owner of the Rochester Royals exclusive rights, check this out now, exclusive rights for the Ice Capades. Now, back then, the Ice Capades were really financially doing very well. And the owner of the Rochester Royals was a big fan of the Ice Capades as long as the Ice Capades were able to go to that venue and make a lot of money. So the deal was made behind closed doors, and all it was a handshake and a nod of the head. And what transpired then is now Rochester had the first pick, Celtics had the second pick. With that deal being made, the Celtics ended up having the very first pick, and the Rochester Royals had the second pick. And that is the saga of the Bill Russell era. So he basically got drafted because of the Ice Capades.
That's crazy.
True story.
That's a great story, man. Because I always wanted to know, like, if Celtics was good before Bill Russell. I wanted to know, like, how did they end up with a player like Bill Russell, like and obviously got drafted, number 2. So I was wanting to know, like, how does this even happen? Like, how do a team that good without making some kind of deal get Bill Russell? But that makes perfect.
Landon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You were muted. What's up?
All right, look like Coach Cam is kind of having some technical difficulties. Michael, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. All right, well, you guys, hey, this is our very first episode of The Tip. Actually, there's Coach Cam right there. I'll let him finish.
Yeah, and my bad, y'all, but I don't know what happened. But yeah, so at the end, we're definitely gonna have Michael share stories, man, because he has stories for days. They could tell us things that we didn't think happened, and you know what? And that was a good story to have. It's always good to know the history of the game. So this is our first episode of The Tip. We'll be here every Friday, 8 p.m. Central.
We actually won't be back on to January the 8th because of next Friday being Christmas. Then the Friday after that being
New Year.
2 years. So it'll be the 8th.
All right. So, hey, look, we'll be back January 8th for the new year. We'll have a lot to talk about. Christmas Day games. We'll have, it'll be games will be about 10 games in. So you kind of see what these teams are. So it'll be interesting when we come back. So to everybody, all the fans out there, we appreciate you for commenting. Appreciate you watching. Tune in to us. Hey, Freddie, got anything for you out here?
Hey, man. I just want to be sure. I'm just glad to be on the show with you, Coach Cam. Landon. I definitely love to hear the takes from Michael, educating us, teaching us about the history of the game. Just like you said, it's very important to know what happened then to be able to understand what's happening now. I definitely love to have the show, and man, just ready to roll.
All right, Landon.
I'm excited to get this show going. I was pumped up for this first episode. I'm pumped up now for the 8th. We got a lot to talk about then, so make sure you tune in.
Mike.
NBA is alive and well, man. I can't wait to go on every Friday, beginning January 8th. Talking basketball, man, right up my alley.
Yep. Hey, I'm excited. Hey, make sure you tune in to us January 8th. It's The Tip. We out.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.